for a regional catalyst for economic development purposes. The grant, if it's approved, if it's accepted through the EDA, would reimburse up to 50%, potentially up to 80%, but we're seeking clarification on that, of expenses towards this project.
And we may not know for 2 to 3 months if we get the grant.
Likely not. I've been informed that the window of notification will probably be about 3 months. Anything that is expended on the project prior to that time will come at the township's expense.
Any questions?
No. I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-004, resolution authorizing the administrator to investigate the creation of a waste disposal district and to cooperate with other townships in this process, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Landrum.
Yes, we have been in conversations. Specifically, the township reached out, Coleraine Township reached out to Delhi, Greene, Anderson, all the local townships. They are wanting to do basically it's a trash district where the township can basically go out for bids on the cost that residents pay for their trash. We've seen the average of in Delhi is probably about $21, $22 for trash per resident. Some of the other townships have already done, I think it's Sims has already performed such a process, and their residents pay for trash and curbside recycling $13 a month. We are doing this as part of, this authorizes me to investigate, to potentially looking at going out for bid. We'll do other resolutions if needed, and I think public hearings as needed. This in no way obligates us in any manner. If we want to stop and not participate, we can. But this is just us looking at it, and we will take some time when we get to a point to get citizens' feedback. We have nothing to lose by moving forward and seeing what there is, because we see a lot of good potential of saving residents some okay, it's $100 and some a year, but that's $100 and some a year. The way I look at it, if I took $100 and handed it to you, would you say no thank you? But plus curbside recycling as well, which would help us tremendously as well. So again, this resolution just authorizes us to investigate it. We'll come back if to authorize any other actions.
Trustee Klug.
Pete, do you know with Sims, they're doing it themselves, or are they contracting with somebody?
They're, as far as the trash pickup itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe, they're having somebody else pick up the trash. That's all part of the bid process of what you want. You can have in your bid specs, this is all the part of the process we're doing, but you can have the bid process, the township can be as involved as it wants to be or not want to be. And what I mean by that is the collection of the fees and all that. Some of them hire Waterworks to do the processing, and then Waterworks, I think we'll investigate further, but from what I'm hearing, and I would desire, we don't have staff to even do processing or anything. You can bid it out that the vendor does all the billing and keeps up with their record keeping and so forth, and we just become the middleman to get the best price for the residents, and other than that, we're out of it. But we'll have those further discussions as we go. We can bid it out several different options as well. So.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Seavey.
Yeah, I have one question. If we would go forward with this and we make a selection, this is not similar to gas and electric where you can opt out. This is all or none. There is no choice in this after the township declares that we're a waste removal district. Is that correct?
Correct. You could not opt out. The only opt-out that we were kind of discussing this is that to find out what the policies of the individual vendor would be. But if somebody wanted to opt out, their opt-out would be they don't pay their bill. They don't, and what would happen is, like, if you don't pay your electric bill, it gets shut off. So then your trash pickup gets shut off and you don't have it anymore. But we would want to really investigate that to make sure, okay, does that go on somebody's credit then if they do that, or, you know, all those, what's the downside of that? But you're right, it's not an aggregation. What this does, though, too, it allows the township to dictate when trash is picked up. You know, what hour, we've been getting complaints that some trash trucks have been coming around at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, we could say no trash pickups before 6, or, you know, we could set some terms, and you wouldn't have 3 different trash trucks going down the same road. You know, you'd have one. So there are some positiveness that we could set in within the bid specs and of what criteria we want.
And the residents would still have recycling, but it would be curbside, and we would discontinue the line of recycling bins?
Or severely limit it, yes. It would definitely, we would still have a recycling program because based on our community, we would still receive grant funding for the recycle. So then we could actually take the funding that is paying for dumpsters, and we're having the general fund having to offset it because it's not paying for itself. If we limit our dumpsters and do not have as many, we could actually do educational and other recycling programs instead of just paying for dumpsters. So that would be another way of paying for some actual real recycling things besides dumpsters themselves.
So even though Rumpke is our current provider, if they win the bid, we may still have Rumpke.
Yes, to the homeowner, if we do it the way where the vendor does the billing and everything, it would be really seamless unless they didn't have Rumpke. You know, say if Rumpke would get it. To be quite honest, from the experience of what they're looking at, more than likely, I mean, we don't know, but it looks like Rumpke would probably be very competitive for the services. So it's a good chance that they would be the winner of the bids, but we don't know that. But Colerain's probably going to do this first because they're a little bit ahead of us. It may be, you know, we have to see who all is really going to, that's why this is just investigation. We have to see if Green's really interested, Anderson Township is really interested, in any of the other townships. We kind of want to go in together, so the bigger we are, the better the pricing can be. But we have seen, like I said, $13, you know, that's almost $9, $10 a month savings times 12 months. And curbside recycling, you know, so.
Okay, we're good to go.
Okay, we're good. I move dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-005, resolution certifying violation abatement expenses at 437 Wilkie Drive to the county auditor for assessment and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this
Any-
resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move we dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-006, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 4333 Skylark Drive and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Roach.
Thank you, Trustee Oswald. We received a complaint of accumulated debris at this address. We issued orders with no compliance. Upon our inspection today, the sofa is still there. So requesting your board declare this property a nuisance so we can address this violation with our nuisance procedures.
Tony, is it occupied?
It is an occupied property, Trustee Klug.
I move we dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-007, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 196 Pedretti Road and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution? Mr. Roach.
Thank you, Trustee Oswald. We received a complaint at this occupied address of accumulated debris. We issued order letters. Today, it's still exists on our inspection, so we're requesting your board declare this property a nuisance, so we can address this violation with our nuisance procedure.
Is it occupied?
It is occupied.
I move we dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-008, resolution declaring nuisance for accumulated debris at 5258 Rapid Run Road and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
In discussion on the resolution, Mr. Roach.
Thank you, Trustee Oswald. We received a complaint at this vacant address on a Rapid Run. We issued an order letter with no compliance. Upon our inspection today, all the debris is still there, so we're requesting your board declare this property a nuisance so we can address this violation with our nuisance procedure.
Is it occupied?
It's vacant.
It's vacant. Okay. I move we dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution 2015-009, resolution entering into 2 collective bargaining agreements with the Delhi Police Association for members within the bargaining units and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move we dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2015-010, resolution declaring intent to conduct an internet auction for the sale of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit township personal property, effective until December 31st, 2015, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
In discussion on this resolution, Mr. Landrum.
Yes, this is an annual procedure that we will do. This gives us the ability to use basically gov deals that we use to put property that has been declared by the board. So the next procedure of this doesn't do anything with the property. So anytime in the future this year that we will have further declaring excess property, those will allow, when you do that, to us to use gov deals. So this is just an annual thing that's required for notification that we do use gov deals.
I move we dispense with second reading.
I second the motion.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
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 Mr. Luby, please call roll.
Mr. Oswald?
Yes.
Mrs. Seavey?
Yes.
Mrs. Klug?
Yes.
Resolution passes. Next is for citizens' comment. I have one signed in.